Hi, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm actually going to Orlando from Tampa. It's a 2-hour drive to have my prep for my hysteroscopy that's on Wednesday. I'm really kind of annoyed by this because I feel like this can be done over Zoom. And the fact that I have to drive there today, my appointment's at 2:30, it's 12 o'clock now, so I'm about to leave. And then drive home because my husband can't do the girls' morning routine by himself because he leaves for work at 5:30 in the morning. And Tuesday, tomorrow, I have a session, and then after that session, I'm driving back to Orlando to spend the night in Orlando to do my hysteroscopy early Wednesday morning. And I have to stay at a friend's house and sleep it off because I have to be put under. And they said that I couldn't do it anywhere else. It had to be done in Orlando, which is fine. It's just, I'm just kind of annoyed that I have to go all the way to Orlando for the pre-op today. I've been on my period. My period started 10 days early. Been on it for 5 days. They put me on birth control to stop it. Still hasn't stopped. And now I'm on 3 birth controls a day. So if I wasn't crazy before, I'm definitely feeling it now. I don't like birth control. I've never really been on birth control. I stopped taking birth control when I was in my mid-20s because I was on that Yaz that had a high risk for liver cancer, and I tested positive for a high bilirubin. So they took me off of it and I was like too afraid to get back on it. But now that, since I've had COVID, my periods have been crazy, and usually I'm like to the day. And that's not the case anymore. So they put me on birth control to regulate it for this operation. And unfortunately, I don't know what's going to happen because I'm not even sure if you can, do a hysteroscopy on your period. But this is the last test I have to do before my transfer. So hopefully it all goes well, it doesn't get canceled, and we transfer soon. So here we go to Orlando. What you eating? Eggies? Yogurt? Hmm? Okay. Yeah, a muffin and you want a spoon? I'll get you a spoon. Eggies, yogurt, and a muffin. So it is October 5th. Is that right? Yes. The first 2 months of trying to do this, like April and May, my vitamin D levels were super low, so I had to like stack up on vitamin D. And then when I did my hysteroscopy, I had endometriosis, something like that. So I had to take 2 months of antibiotics. And then I had my period for 35 days. It just was like thing after thing after thing after thing that was stopping us from being ready to transfer. And so now we're finally there 6 months later, and I never thought that this would go on so long because after my last round of IVF, which was in November of 2018, I literally went and did my hysteroscopy in December. Everything was good. And then in February, well, I guess like the end of January, I had my period. And so we transferred in mid-February and it worked. So I honestly thought April was too soon to try and start the process for an FET. And I'm finding out it wasn't soon enough. So it's gonna be a very long process. Yeah? You wanna see what I'm doing? Is that you?
Yeah. Sydney.
That's Savannah, not Sydney. You have yogurt on your face. So I just have to get everything ready and get the girls off to daycare. I already took my shower and everything. So really is what's gonna happen is they're gonna do a baseline. So they're gonna do an ultrasound, and yes, I'm on my period, so it sounds disgusting, but I guess when you've done like 3 rounds of IVF, it's just part of the everyday testing. So this is probably TMI. I normally wear a Diva cup. I'm not today because you have to go in and take it out and all that stuff, and that's nasty. So
you do an ultrasound, and then I'm gonna get blood work done. And then I think I start medication tonight. I'm not sure though. So I'll get my protocol today, I guess. And I have my medication already. The only thing I don't have is baby aspirin. So I have to go by the store and get baby aspirin because they want me to start that because I had preeclampsia in my last pregnancy. So after I take them to daycare, I'm gonna take the dogs on a walk, and then I'm going to head out to Orlando. And then any questions that you guys have about FETs or IVF, you can ask in the comments below, and I'll try and answer them. Okay, so I don't know how like influencers do this when they're like looking into the camera and doing their makeup at the same time, because it's actually like difficult. But so I'm getting ready to go to my FET appointment. Afterwards, I'm gonna meet my friend for lunch. I'm not normally one to like even put makeup on anymore when I go out in public, but I feel like it today because I do. But I was gonna say that, so today is cycle day 2 for me, which means I started my period yesterday. So is what happens if you don't know anything about IVF or FETs or anything, you're always waiting for the first day of your period. So my period since May has been like all over the place because I had like my 3rd bout of COVID, which I had like a headache for an hour. But every time I have COVID, it messes with my cycle. So I had my period for 35 days. So they really couldn't do anything from like May to June. Couldn't do anything. And they were waiting for my vitamin D levels to kind of level out, get higher. So I was taking a ton of vitamin D. Once my vitamin D got better, I did my hysteroscopy where they found all these infections like that I've probably had since the girls were born. So worse than a yeast infection. I was on 2 different kinds of antibiotics. It didn't work the first time, so then I had to do it again. So that's why it's just been a very long process. It's really emotionally draining when you're just waiting for your body to do the right thing, and it won't, because like everybody's body is reacting different to COVID, and nobody knows what's really, you know, gonna be a long-term effect until it's been around for a while. So that's how my body reacts to it. It's not fun, but it is what it is. And I'm supposed to go on vacation tomorrow for the weekend, just like a little weekend getaway. But I'm not sure if they need me back for any more blood work. I'm hoping that they don't, and my protocol that they gave me said that I don't go back until day 10 of my cycle. So we'll see. So again, if you don't know anything about IVF, it really goes off cycle days and like stem days. So I'll have a cycle day 1, which is my period, and then a stem day 1, or like a medication day 1, which is when I start doing all my medication to prep me for the embryo transfer. Because I already did IVF, 3 rounds of it, and froze those embryos and genetically tested those embryos back in 2018, thankfully I don't have to do another round of IVF, which is really nice. But I still have to do all the medication and just make sure that my body is prepped. Now back in 2019, when I went to go prep for my first embryo transfer, which was the girls, ended up being the twins, my lining was super thin. So they kept putting it off. They put me on birth control to get my lining thicker. I'm hoping, I have a cold, so I'm hoping that the mucus will like strengthen my lining. I don't know. So I'm gonna do my makeup, and then we're gonna get ready to go to Orlando, which I have to leave in like 30 minutes because I have a client call that I'm gonna do in the parking lot at 11. So I have to leave early. I don't even know where to start with this one. Like, I feel like there's so much anxiety
around like when you finally get to the FET point, the frozen embryo transfer, and it kind of like becomes real that you know, that it could work, it might not work, and like the littlest tiny things can set you off, especially because like you're about to start like a whole new journey. And I just feel really alone right now, and I hate that like we moved to a new city. I don't really have a lot of friends, and we do want this baby. I just feel really lonely. Like, I felt like I had so much support the first time. And I don't feel like a lot of people understand, like, it's so hard to go through, and it's hard to go through alone, and it's there's just there's a lot of anxiety towards whether it'll work or not, and this is kind of our last shot. Like, we're not doing it again if it doesn't work. And I don't know, just like I just feel really lonely.
So my FET cycle was canceled, and it really sucks. They put me on the wrong medication. The pharmacy said they never got it. The clinic says they gave it to the pharmacy. The clinic said it's my fault for not double checking, which it is. I didn't double check. I was supposed to be on letrozole. The pharmacy gave me estrogen. They said, the clinic said, take the one medication that we gave you. The one medication was estrogen. It's not even on my protocol, so I don't even know why I have it. And yeah, the cycle was canceled because my lining wasn't great, and you need a follicle, like a large follicle, to ovulate, and mine shrunk instead of getting larger. So we decided to wait until January to try again, because it's just from April to October, it's been such a stressful year, and I feel like my body's been through a lot with having COVID 3 times, and like I had it in January, I had it in May, I had it in August, but like it was like a headache in August, so I don't even really count that, but it messes with my cycle. And so I'm hoping that I kind of got it out of my system, my cycle can regulate itself, and then we can take some time, take a break, enjoy the holidays, and start again in January. I'm pretty bummed about it. I had a feeling it was gonna happen. It's just, I would rather have, you know, a good transfer than try and push something that isn't gonna work. It definitely sucks, you know, like, so I guess now I'm just kind of like back in the waiting game. They gave me progesterone to like, I think it's progesterone, it's just a pill to kickstart my cycle, because they're like, well, you've been on estrogen, so you know, you might not have your period for months, so here's progesterone to kickstart your cycle. So I don't know really what that does for me, what that's gonna do to my body, what that's gonna do to my cycle. So we'll see. So right now I'm just getting ready for Halloween, focusing. I have a lot of photo shoots coming up, and Santa mini sessions are coming, which is like crazy. Santa mini sessions are a lot. So we'll see. We'll see how everything goes and take it from there. So, you know, I'll do my cycle in January, and hopefully it's positive, and I'll try and post here. I always forget. I'm such a bad YouTuber. But I'm gonna keep you guys updated on my Instagram, and I started a TikTok. I don't really like TikTok, but there it is. But stick around, please subscribe if you want to keep following our, you know, FET number 2 journey, and love to have you, and thank you for being so nice to me during this time.